Good morning, my name's Nelson. I'm at Holman RV in Batavia, Ohio. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough on a Forest River Wildwood Platinum. The model number is the 31KQBTS. We're going to start on the outside first. You have front end pass-through storage. There's also a compartment here that comes in from the bedroom. You can use it as just a way to get into the storage area, or you can put a cargo net up here and it catches, you could use it as a laundry chute. They have a sewer hose included. This is your monitor for your battery. So your solar charger, and it shows that it's full at 13.7 volts. So that's for your solar panel. You have two hand cranks here. The kind of goldish one is for your stabilizers. Now, these are not leveling jacks, these are stabilizer jacks. So you still have to put wood under the tires to level it from left to right, and then after you remove it from your vehicle, use the tongue jack to level it front to rear. Then you can put these stabilizer jacks down. The silver one is an override for your power jack for the tongue. So you would pull this rubber piece out and that hand crank would raise it up and down for you manually in case your battery would be dead for some reason. You have a light up front and power up and down on your tongue jack. These are your propane tanks. They're both full right now. It has an automatic regulator, so when one is out, it will automatically switch to the other one. There's a quick release here to remove the tanks to go have them filled. They will not fill them while they're connected to your camper. Your battery shutoff is right there. This is your battery box. Now the battery disconnect has to be in the on position for your battery to be able to charge. So leave that in the on position. The only time you would really turn that to the off position would be for storage over the winter. Even then, there's a small draw on the inside. It's your propane carbon monoxide detector that always has a little green light, and it's always on as safety purposes. It's hardwired to the battery. So in the winter, I suggest taking the battery completely off the front end of your camper and moving it to the garage or basement and hook a trickle charger up to it. This is just the other side of your pass-through storage. Now, before you disconnect from your truck at your campsite, make sure you have plenty of room for both of your slide outs to come out. Make sure they're not going to hit any electric box at the campground or trees. Make sure that your electric cord will reach, and your sewer hose will reach, and your water hose will reach. On this particular model, all of them are toward the back end of the camper. So to the rear of the second axle on this camper is your sewer hose hookup. Now the big diameter, the 4-inch diameter, is your black tank, and they're kind of color coded on the handles. This one's black. Your 2-inch pipe is your gray water, and that gray handle is your gray water. So when you're hooked up at the campsite to a full connection to a sewer pipe, or on your way out of the campground, if you're at the dump station, that's where you hook up your sewer hose. You would pull the black handle first. The black one is your toilet water. So any waste from there would go through, and then after you empty the black one, you use the gray one, and that rinses out the sewer hose for you partially. You have an additional galley tank on this one, so you have another 2-inch pipe. So that one would have to be connected to the sewer hose as well to drain it. You should simply pull the gray handle to drain it. This is your cable and satellite hookup. The left one would be your cable, the right one would be your satellite. This is your black tank flush. Now before you run water through your black tank flush, make sure that you're connected to a sewer hose and you have the black handle pulled. Otherwise, when you put water into your black tank flush, it'll go up through the toilet and make a mess in your bathroom. So make sure that you have the sewer hose hooked up and the black handle pulled before flushing your black tank. The other one is your city water connection. So when you're hooked up to a garden hose and it's going to remain hooked up, we call that city water, and you do not have to use your water pump. The only time you need your water pump is when you are running off your freshwater holding tank. Your low point drain is just underneath. You can see the red and blue valves or pieces of hose. Red is hot, blue is cold. That's your low point drain. This is your 50 amp cord hookup. Right now we have it hooked up to 30 amp, so this piece is yours also. That way it converts it from 50 amp to 30 amp. This is a portable gas grill, which you have a quick disconnect right here. So that it uses the propane tanks on the front of the camper, so you don't need a separate tank. The hose for that is going to be in your little galley kitchen to the left of the refrigerator. Now you don't have a ladder on the back. It is marked so that it's equipped to add a ladder, so it shows you where the beams are to connect that ladder. You also have, it's pre-wired for a rear view camera. So even if you don't add a ladder, you would have to use a ladder to get on top twice a year, beginning and end of the season, and inspect any caulking for any cracks. If you see any cracks, you need to use some kind of caulking. We suggest Dicor self-leveling to fill in those cracks, and it fills in the gap and re-hardens for you. The sun is your worst enemy. It will dry out the caulking. So beginning and end of the season, make sure you check the rear seam across the back, the one across the front, and anything that's mounted up there has caulking on it. This is your outdoor kitchen. So we have your grill on the back. We have a refrigerator in here. It's good and cold right now. We got her plugged in. We've got a sink on the outside. Storage areas. You have a push button light for out here. You also have this is your ground fault reset, and you have a cable hookup. So once you're hooked up the cable on the other side, you can add cable right here. And it's also marked so that you can add a backer for a TV right there, or you can set it up on a table outside and still use the cable connection and the electric outlet. Your freshwater drain is this white one right here. So to drain your freshwater holding tank, you would pull that handle to let it drain. You have another electrical outlet on the outside. You have outside speakers. Your outside speakers will be zone 2 on your system. Zone 1 is the inside speakers. This is your freshwater fill. This is to fill the freshwater holding tank. Simply put your garden hose inside of here and fill it until it either starts spilling out the back, or you take the reading on the inside and it says that your fresh tank is full. When running off your freshwater holding tank, you would need to have your pump in the on position. This is just the back end of your propane furnace, and this is the back end of your water heater. Now this one is a gas only water heater, so there's no electric switch. I'm sorry, there is a switch. There's a switch here to turn it on for electric. Pull this out, you can get a better look at it. So you do have the option of electric or propane. So this is your on-off switch for electric. And on the inside of your camper at the main panel is the switch to use gas. This is your drain plug. It has an anode on it. In the fall, when you winterize it, you'll be able to inspect that anode to see if it needs replaced. They're only about $12 in our parts department. When you put the new one in or reuse your old one, there's white Teflon tape that you want to put over the threads to make a good seal for that drain plug. That kind of concludes the outside. You also have LED lights that run the full length of your awning. Now you do have the deluxe steps. Now before you put those in or out, just make sure that the door is all the way open, because this piece right here has to rest against the frame. So when you lift these up, it simply locks into place on the left side. To release it, pull the blue handle. Now, to adjust these legs, you can push up with your thumb and adjust these in and out. Ready to go inside. When we first get inside, on the left-hand side of the door is your main control panel. So right now I have the water pump in the on position because we're working off of the freshwater holding tank. This is the button to turn on the gas for the water heater. Now you have a little light here that tells you if it lights or not. So in a minute that should come off, because the gas is turned on, but it hasn't been bled yet, so that may take a minute. Oh, there it went. So that light just went off, which means the gas has been lit on your water heater. If that light ever stays on, then simply turn the button back off and back on to see if it lights again. Sometimes you have to bleed the gas lines a little bit before it lights. You have two buttons down here. The left one is for your slide out, in or out, and the right one is for your awning, which is in or out. This left light switch is for those LEDs that are in your awning, and this other one is the accent light above your slide out. Now for your main ceiling lights, you have a dimmer switch. So to turn it on and off, right now it's on because this little white light's on in the middle. To turn it off, simply tap and it goes off. To turn it on, tap it and it comes on. Now at the dimmer, put your finger over the hole and the lights dim and go brighter. And when it reaches the desired brightness, simply release from your finger and they stay on. You have 4 lights up here for your levels, so when we press the battery button, it's fully charged. Your freshwater tank is full right now. Black is empty, gray has a little bit, and your galley one is empty. Okay, moving into the living area, we have a entertainment center. Now you don't have a TV on here yet, but it is marked where to put the backer for your TV mount. Your cords would run through here and they would plug in down here. So this one is for satellite, this one is for cable. Now you'll notice a green light, that is your power antenna. So if you're just using air TV off of the antenna, you want that green light on. If you're doing a cable search, make sure that this is off. You have to push that little black button to turn that green light off. When it's off, now you can do your cable search and it won't interfere. You have 2 remotes. One is for your sound system, the other one is for your fireplace. So on your sound system, once it's on, now right now it's showing zone 1 and 2 are on. There's no link because we haven't linked anything, but we switched the mode to radio. So your zone selection is right here. If you ever turn this on and you don't have any sound, make sure you have one of the zones selected, because otherwise you're going to think that it's broken. So zone 1 is your inside speakers. Zone 2 is your outside speakers. Go ahead and turn that one off. For your fireplace, right now I'm running air conditioning, so the only power that's on to your fireplace is the ambiance of the lights. So on your remote, you have an on-off. You have a temperature setting. So you have a low and a high, and now it starts putting out heat, really warm heat. So if we hit the button again, it goes to 0. Now it's off. Now the fan will continue to blow until the element is cooled off. So the other buttons are for a timer. So you have 0 hours all the way up to, looks like 9 hours, and then back to 0 again. The other lights change the colors of the flame, and the other light changes the colors of your rocks. Go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to put your remote controls with your, let's see, find where they put your, must be the safe drawer. You have sliding drawers in the kitchen. Okay, I don't see where they put your manuals yet, so I'm going to leave your remotes right on the shelf above the sound system. So that's your entertainment center. On your slide out, you have a couch that folds down to a scissor bed. Simply remove the arm, lift up, and it goes into the down position to make a bed. Raise it back up. And put the arm back in place. You have storage underneath with plastic containers already provided. Now this part right now, it's set up for a full dinette. Now this can make a bed by pulling the tabletop off of the poles, removing the poles and lowering the table onto the brown edges, and then fill in the gap with the other cushions. You have additional storage underneath on both sides. This back can remove, can be pulled out. You can see the bracket on this side. So if you pull it out, turn it around, mount it on this side, it makes like a lounging area toward your entertainment system. On your faucet, it pulls out, and you can change the direction of the spray as well. You have a residential microwave. You have a fan and a light above the stove. Now, the light down here, when it's in the center, none of the lights are on. When it's in the up position, you have blue lights behind the burners. Blue tells you that no gas is on. When you turn on gas, they turn red. So at a glance, you can tell if any gas is coming through or not. When you push this button in the down position, it has these backlights as well as turning on the oven light. To light these burners, you actually need 2 hands. Turn it to the flame. This is a spark igniter, just like on a gas grill. So now you can adjust the flames and back to the off position. Again, turn it to where the flame is, hit the striker, and it lights. Now to light the oven, there's a pilot light all the way in the back underneath. Now it's like a gas fireplace. You would turn this knob to where the flame is, Now we have to prime the pilot. So you do that by pushing in with your thumb, and you would have to hold that in for about 20 to 30 seconds to prime the gas to the pilot light. Now while it's still held in, you would hit the same striker and it lights your pilot light. Once the pilot light's lit, then you turn it to one of the temperatures and your entire burner lights up. Now each time you use your oven, you will have to light that pilot light. This cover is glass, so when you're towing, make sure that it's in the down position, because if you leave it up and you hit a bump, this glass is going to hit this cast iron and it's going to break on you. So make sure when you're towing that this is in the down position. You have a refrigerator that can run off your battery or electric. It's always locked, so no groceries can come out. To open, you simply depress with your fingers when you want to open. Same for the freezer. So it's good and cold right now. When you are towing or in, if you're camping off-grid without electric, turn this dial down to between 2 and 3. You can read here that it says off-grid, so that's low power on your battery. Once you get plugged in at your campsite, you can turn this back up to a higher setting to make things colder. I'm going to go ahead and turn this all the way down to the off position. You actually heard a click when it's in the off position, because you won't be using it for a while. I'll go ahead and turn that back off. Down here by the fridge is your propane and carbon monoxide detector with that little green light I was telling you about earlier. That's hardwired to the battery and will always be on. Now we get to your climate controls. Now the up and down arrows is simply warmer or cooler. When you first touch the light, it turns on the backlight, and you can see we currently have it on 68 and we're in the cool mode. I have the AC on right now. Now to change it, keep pressing the bottom button till you get to the desired one. Right now I just switched it to off. So there, now it just came off. The AC just turned off. Now when we click through that to turn the heat, okay, now it's going to be heat. It has the current temperature, so we actually have to hit it a few degrees above what we're currently at. We're on the heat position. When it stops flashing, you can hear it kick on. Now when it first kicks on, that's just the blower. After about 10 seconds you'll hear a click, and that's the igniter. So once the flame lights up, it will heat up a chamber. There's the click. So it'll heat up a chamber and start blowing warm air. Your heating vents in this model are in the floor. So you've got one here close to the kitchen area, one in the back bedroom on the floor, and you have one up by the entertainment center and one up in your bedroom. Now when we turn this to the off position, now it'll do the opposite. The flame will go out, but the fan will continue to run for probably another minute, maybe even 2, to blow all the hot air out of the system and make sure that you're getting full efficiency into your camper. This door goes into your bathroom. You have a manual vent. Just crank it open, and this is the on-off switch for your fan. Crank that back down. Now you have there's a little cord. There's a black cord here that connects to this piece when you're traveling. That just keeps the door shut so that nothing will fall out of your cabinet. So it clicks closed, and then you can just feel this little black cord that goes over the edge. On your toilet, there's a foot pedal. If you push that foot pedal down partially, it fills the commode with water. It so that it looks just like your one at home. So now you can do your number 2, push the pedal to the floor, it flushes it down into your black tank. This is also where you would add the chemicals to break down the waste and the toilet paper that you put down into your black tank. You have a switch here on your shower. Once you get the temperature set, you can save water by flipping that. It'll turn it off at the hose, and then you can finish soaping and then turn it back on to rinse if you're dry camping. If you're hooked up to full hookups at a campsite, you can use all you want. Got additional storage here. Lots of room for groceries. You have 2 slide outs in the back and for the bedroom. Those controls are here and they're marked in and out. So slide in and slide out, slide in and slide out. You have an additional TV area in the back. You can put an additional TV backer. You have cable hookup and electric. Now, this box down here is your breaker system. So these are all of your breakers, just like at your house. Circuit breakers, and it's marked what they're for. And this is your 12-volt system, and it's marked what they're for. On this side, you have a bunk that folds down. With an additional cushion. So you have a double bunk. This will fold up to be out of the way. Just locks into position on this side. And over here you have a couch that will also fold down to a bed. And you can fold this one up, this top bunk up, and connect it at the corner so that you can use this as a couch during the day. So in the down position, that's an additional bunk. Now you have a light switch for the ceiling lights, but any of the lights that don't work off of that switch, there's simply a push button in the center to turn those on. So this side has the same thing. Now you have additional USB ports for phone chargers, storage underneath, and cabinets for clothes. And last but not least, we have your front bedroom. Now, the previous owner has left foam underneath of this bed, but if you grab the wood underneath, it folds up and you have additional storage underneath of the bed, and you also have access to that front pass-through storage. Each side of the bed has a coat area. You have an electric plug inside, and you have USB for phone chargers on each side of the bed. And you have one additional reading light that's above at the head of the bed, and it turns on with the center push of that button as well. You have one last place. It's marked for the TV backer and an additional spot for cable and electric. The white vents in the ceiling are for your air conditioning vents, and there's your floor vent for the bedroom. The floor vents are for your heat. So that concludes the walkthrough on this particular model. If you have any questions, you can call Holman Motors. You can also download the Forest River app, and there's additional information on that app for your particular model, including some videos. Thanks, and enjoy your camping.